All right, so that was the live coverage we were getting for you from ISRO, wherein a new feat has been established today, and we all were witness to that. To talk more about it, we are now joined in by our special guest, Lieutenant General Anil Bhatt, DG, Indian Space Association. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning. First of all, a very happy New Year. And given the feat that has been established by ISRO today morning, the first day of the new year, I'm sure it could not have been better, isn't it?
Oh, yes. It's a very special gift to the nation. How better can we celebrate our independence, our new year, than by ISRO launching its 60th PSLV launch? And what is more important is that apart from XPoSat, which is the main satellite, under POEM, 10 experiments are being done, and they are being done, some of them from our startups like Bellatrix, Dhruva, Take Me to Sky, and they would be testing their equipments in space. It's a great opportunity for them also, and this will help the private sector to grow further as it has been with the help of ISRO.
Yes, indeed, this will help the private sector to grow further. But, you know, in very simple, common layman's terms, I will want you to explain to our viewers, what is the significance of this mission? PSLV, we've seen it is, the workhorse of ISRO, but then again, we see it establishing another feat. What does it mean for the nation when it is attempting this for the first time? Because we've seen only NASA has attempted this in 2021, and today we have India, only the second country in the world to attempt this. Where does it place us on the global space exploration map?
You know, all XPoSat, as you have already described, and it has been said from the morning, it is a special total scientific satellite. And for PSLV, this is the 60th launch.
Yes.
Which itself is a landmark in its own. And what is most important is, in future, 5 PSLVs will now be assembled and manufactured and made ready by the private sector. This is being done by Larsen and Toubro and HAL, a consortium which is doing it together. And the PSLVs we'll see launched this year, in the later part, would be where the private sector has had a larger role to play. And of course, POEM 3, POEM 1, POEM 2, and POEM 3 have been helping our industry, especially our startups, to test their equipment in space. And today, through InSpace, 10 of them which have been approved are being tested, and we are very sure this will further give an impetus to our new startups in the space sector.
All right, before this, last year we also saw ISRO establish 7 stellar launches. One of them was obviously Chandrayaan 3 and the Aditya L1 mission. Having said that, how laudable is this feat of ISRO today morning? Because we've seen that SSLV and GSLV had not tasted success in the previous year or before that as well. So given the new year, given the new beginnings, given the first day of the new year, how would you say, how has been, say, 2023 with regard to the stellar performance of ISRO?
You know, of course, amongst all what in recent times ISRO has achieved,
yes,
Chandrayaan 3 stands out. And it places us as a nation very high in the domain of space, because we have been able to land on the southern part of the moon, which is an outstanding effort. While launch of today is one of the many scientific launches, what is most important is ISRO is continuing with its effort and with all the success, which we are very proud of.
Yes, we are indeed proud of, because this is the moment which not only is an assurance for the excellence in, the excellence of the scientific community, the scientific acumen of our scientists in the country, but also how this launch is also symbolic of women empowerment, given the way Yes, and we've seen how Prime Minister also lauded the involvement of women during Chandrayaan-3 mission. And also this launch specifically is also regarded important because of the involvement of the startups, isn't it?
Yes. And like there are 10 of them from many industries, startups, which are being tested in the poem. And this is a great platform for our new private industry to be able to experiment, to be able to do, and it is being done all by the support of ISRO. In India, whatever we will achieve in the private sector, it is thanks to a very strong ecosystem and support provided by ISRO, which started more than 60 years back and is continuing.
All right. Also, let's get more insights from you on India's ambition of Atmanirbharta in space exploration also. You're talking of startups. We're talking of the new India here. And how far will this launch further establish or reassure India's run towards self-reliance in space exploration?
Let me tell you, we have been self-reliant on space exploration for a long time. And for many years, many of the things made by ISRO have been done indigenously. They have been done by the support of local industry in India. And in fact, this Atmanirbharta in space has taken place earlier than many other industries or many other domains. And I'm sure this is going to continue. Very recently at IIT Bombay, the chairman of ISRO had given out a plan of what is going to happen in the future in all domains of communication, navigation, in radio communication and navigation, as well as remote sensing, and also future plans for sending human beings into space, the Gaganyaan project, and thereafter a number of Chandrayaan projects, which will culminate in a human being landing in Chandrayaan somewhere in 2040. A well laid out plan has now been laid out by ISRO, which I am very sure will succeed and continue to keep India on the top of the space sector, as I would say, or the space domain in the world.
Yes, that brings me to the next question as to how do you evaluate how far has ISRO evolved? Because time and again, as I just a while back mentioned, how SSLV and GSLV had not delivered success the previous year and before that. But this ability of ISRO to spring back, this ability of ISRO to succeed after failures, what do you make of it? And also, how far has ISRO evolved in contributing towards the success of India on the space exploration page of the world?
Firstly, if you compare the percentages of the success level of launch vehicles, PSLV has a very high rate. And it is only one PSLV which you are mentioning, which there was a kind of failure. As far as SSLV goes, it was a new new launch vehicle which was launched. And what is there, they got it right, completely right in the second one. In fact, the plans are that it will be transferred to private industry for manufacturing and launching in the future. Generally, it takes much more than two times to get a success. ISRO has just been able to get. In fact, the first one itself was a very large success. Not a complete one, but by second, they have been able to totally prove that SSLV is a successful launch vehicle for launching.
All right, we've seen how important has the day been, but then also when we talk of the future years, let us understand more from you. How challenging is it when we talk of space exploration is one sector which is wide and then also has different global players also testing their prowess. Having said that, how do you evaluate, or for that matter, how do you read the future of space exploration for India?
I would say that firstly, today in India, it is the space enterprise and led by ISRO, along with industry, along with academia. And the biggest positive is the very strong support it gets from the government and especially from the PMO's office itself. The whole space domain, ISRO and everything which is happening even in the private sector is monitored and very strongly supported by the government. We have a new policy which came last year in April, and very soon we are looking at a new liberal FDI policy for space. All these things are going to take us where we plan to go. That is definitely in space and on the moon by 2040.
Yes, indeed, onto the moon. But then every feat established in any sector, or for that matter, in any field, speaks volumes of the leadership of the country and how the leadership encourages, be it sports, be it space exploration, be it economy, any field. Having said that, what is your reading of the exposure that has been given, of the guidance that has been given under Prime Minister's leadership to the space exploration when we talk of how it has evolved over these past years?
So, like I was saying, as soon as the Chandrayaan-3 launch was successfully done, the ISRO chairman has presented the plan for the future, which has laid down when are we going to have our space station and when are we going to land a human being onto the moon. This is all being proposed by ISRO, seeing their capabilities and how the things will go on, and has been given the total support of the government. And I'm very sure the funds for this will also. Along with this, of course, for private space, there has been everything. A policy has been laid out which allows private players to carry out all possible activities. And I'm very positive in the coming years, we will have a larger chunk or larger percentage of the space economy. Presently, we are just 2 to 3%. And in the next 10 years, we expect it to grow to 8 to 10%.
Yes, indeed, and that is also witnessed in how the Prime Minister has time and again has talked of encouraging scientific acumen among the youth, among the children in the country. We are running short of time. There is positive time here, sir. But very quickly, your closing comments on the day today, the feat that has been established, and how do we see the future?
So, in the first day of 2024, this very successful launch by ISRO is indicative of what things which will be coming, especially in the space domain. And India will continue its good performance. And I'm very sure our private sector is also going to carry out many successful experiments and successful launches and launch of satellites this year.
All right. With that optimistic and positive note, we'll end this conversation here. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning on DD India. So that was a special analysis by our guest, retired General, Lieutenant General retired Anil Bhatt, DG, Indian Space Association, and we talked of how important the feat has been today. ISRO has successfully launched XPoSat into the space, and this gives more scientific, this talks of the scientific prowess of the country and how, indeed, we have still a long way to go ahead. With that, we end this edition. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.